Alright, so today I wanted to discuss a topic about Resident Evil Reverse that's been going around for basically a year now almost, and it's interesting to say the least. Again, just a warning, I have a bit of a cold, so my voice is a bit weird sounding, so I apologise for that. Hopefully it's not too bad. It should be fine in a couple of days, but just bear with it if you can. But anyway, Resident Evil Reverse was a game that was supposed to launch with Resident Evil Village back in last May, but was delayed until July, and then it got delayed again until early this year, so basically any time now really. The game has mixed reviews and opinions. I think some people really did enjoy it. I personally was fine with it. I thought it was pretty good, it was fun, it was dumb fun, you know, like it wasn't serious fun, it was something you could play occasionally and have a laugh. Some people didn't like it, I didn't see the point of it, and then some people really did like it, and are still waiting for it. But the question, obviously in the title of the video, is, has the game been secretly cancelled? So today we're going to discuss the game in general, people's general complaints about it, and kind of discuss that, opinion that the game could have been cancelled secretly without us knowing. So without any further ado, let's just jump into it. As always, leave your thoughts in the comments about Resident Evil Reverse, and let's go. Okay, so to basically fill everyone in on what the game is, if you aren't already aware, it's basically a hero shooter free-for-all type game. Characters from the mainline series are playable characters, obviously Jill, Chris, Claire, Leon, Honk, Ada, and I'm missing someone, I think. Maybe I'm not. Did I miss someone there? I don't think I did. But anyway, you play as these characters and they all have their individual weapons and abilities. So again, like a hero type shooter where they have two abilities, their own unique weapons, and just passive things they can do compared to other characters. And on top of that, there is bioweapon characters you can play. The most noticeable ones being the Tyrant, Nemesis, Jack Baker, and a couple of random enemies you encounter throughout the games. To play as these bioweapons, basically what happens is, when you're playing as the hero character, there are certain canisters around the map you can pick up, like purple canisters, and the more you have on you when you die, the better the bioweapon is when you die. So basically when you die, you kind of turn into the bioweapon, and then you have basically a second life, and then when you die in that form, you respawn as the hero character again. And that's the general gist of each match. They're quite short matches, I believe they're like 5 minutes apiece, and it's quite fast paced as well. The maps aren't huge. Well, the map we played in the beta wasn't huge, it was just the main hall and a few side corridors of the RPD, which again was a good map to pick, I think, definitely. But yeah, it's not too long, it's not too involved, it's very simple, and a lot of people do like that about it. Now, of course, the topic comes up every time Capcom announces a multiplayer Resident Evil game like this. We have Umbrella Corps, which didn't do very well at all. Resident Evil Resistance, which came with the 3 remake, which even now does have quite a dedicated fan base and player base. It does have its issues, especially since they've stopped supporting it. There's a few builds that are OP. I think PC is kind of riddled with hackers now as well, which is a shame. But it still has a pretty dedicated player base. And even new people play it quite regularly, apparently. Like, I played it a couple of weeks ago, just for like an hour or two, and there was a few like newer players, obviously noticeably new players, which is nice. It's nice to see the game still getting attention. And then there's Reverse, which is, I think it's more accessible than Resistance. Resistance is a pretty unique and very niche mode of game. It's an asymmetrical multiplayer game, which there isn't many of, and the one out there that's kind of refined is Dead by Daylight, so there's not many games of that type, but Reverse is just a simple deathmatch mode, very, very simple. But again, something that comes up a lot when these games get announced are, do we really need this, or is this necessary, or I didn't want this at all, which is understandable. I think I agree with that for the most part. I think Resident Evil games are single player games, and at the very least in terms of multiplayer, you want it to be cooperative. Look at Resident Evil 5 and 6. Co-op games, it works really well, it makes sense. But then having a mode like this, where it's just, a random collection of characters and maps throughout the series, in a deathmatch mode, is kind of weird, and I do, again, see that standpoint. However, in the context of which they released it, it does make sense to have this mishmash of everything, because it was kind of like the game that was announced for the 25th anniversary. I'm not saying that's an excuse to release it, but I'm just saying it makes sense to be like a complete compilation of a lot of things from a lot of different games in the series, because it was celebrating the anniversary of the series. But yeah, there's mixed opinions about it. A lot of people don't want it and will not play it. A lot of people genuinely are looking forward to it. Like, I see a lot of people in comments on past videos I've done on this game, people online talking about it, saying they're looking forward to play it because it was quite fun, it's simple, it's a fun game to play with friends, and I completely see that side of things too. Like, I thought it was fun as well. Like, I played a few hours of it during beta, and it was alright, it was fine, it was fun. it's just a game you can kind of play and switch off for a little bit because it's not too involved. Does it have its issues? Absolutely. There's some balancing issues, there's some connection issues, there was some pretty significant hit registration issues in the beta, but this is stuff that hopefully, if the game does come out, has been kind of ironed out and fixed by the time we get it. So now that's all out of the way and we kind of have a lot of different views of what people think about the game. Has it been cancelled? I would say probably not. Now I made a video about this recently, but in terms of release information, there isn't a exact date yet. But recently Capcom did like a contest in Japan about a calendar for the year, and that calendar was themed around things coming this year. To give a few examples of it, and I'll leave a link to it in the description so you can see, Resident Evil Village was featured on there, which obviously is the most recent release and has DLC coming this year. Ace Attorney was on there. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, I think it's called, is the expansion that's launching this year for Monster Hunter Rise. Street Fighter was also featured, obviously that has a very prominent esports and stuff like that. And Reverse was on there as well, which would lead people to assume that the game is releasing this year if it's featured on a 2022 calendar. I also don't think they would have cancelled it without telling anyone by now. If it was secretly cancelled, I think that would be a pretty dick move to do. I think if they were to cancel the game, or have already cancelled the game, that we would know by now, because I think a lot of people are actually still waiting for it. Most people online do say they don't want it, but there is a fair amount of people, like a decent amount of people waiting for this game. So I think if they have kind of secretly canned it, it would be a pretty shitty move for those people, but you know, I do feel like if it's already been cancelled, we would know, honestly. Like, I just think we would know. Now, do I personally want the game to be cancelled? Not really. I think I would probably play it a little bit, every now and again, more so around the launch, just to kind of experience it. I'm sure there's more to the game when it comes out, probably new maps and stuff like that, because it was a beta that we got, so it's probably limited content. And at the end of the day, a beta is a beta, you know, it's an early build of a game. I'm sure when, or if the game releases, that it will be hopefully largely improved upon what we'd already played. And again, I hope, you know, for those people that are excited for the game, more so than most people, that it does come out, because there's a lot of people, again, that are looking forward to it, and hopefully it does come out and they can enjoy it when it does release. And at the end of the day, you know, if you don't like it, that's fine. If you do like it, that's great. Just let people play what they want to play, you know, let people be excited for what they want to play, and if you don't like it, then don't play it. At the end of the day, you didn't really pay for this game, and I know that's been something I've said a few times, but it came free with every single edition of Resident Evil Village. So I personally would consider it an extra bonus for free, rather than something I've paid for additionally to Resident Evil Village. But that's just me. I know some people think differently, and that's fine, but that's how I see it. Like, I got my full price game's worth out of Resident Evil Village alone, so I'm fine. Now, in terms of an actual release, I couldn't say for sure. I know they said early 2022, so I would imagine we'd hear something before the first anniversary of Village. Same with the DLC for Village itself. So sometime between now and May, possibly. Maybe the summer. At the latest, like the midsummer, like July time. I don't know. But hopefully sooner rather than later, right? I'm sure we'll hear something about DLC soon, so I'd imagine this would probably be around that time or after, so we'll just have to wait and see. But to answer the question, has Reverse been cancelled? No one really knows. Everyone's just making videos saying it might have been, or saying it has, without kind of any proof of it. I think the lack of communication about the game is a kind of a signal that might be the case, but with that recent kind of competition in Japan and with that calendar and things like that, I think they're kind of acknowledging the game still exists in a way by including it there. So yeah, at the end of the day, no one knows. I don't know. No one else who has made the video knows for sure. So we'll just have to see and wait what they say, because, you know, it might be, but it probably isn't. I'm just going to say that now. It probably isn't cancelled, and if it is, we'll know immediately when it is. I don't think it's been secretly scrapped in the background. But that's basically going to do it. I just kind of wanted to get this whole kind of conversation out there that people are saying it's being cancelled, or it's probably being cancelled, and no one knows for sure yet. I know Capcom have a history of kind of just pushing things under the rug, but again, I think a lot of people do want to see this, so them doing that would be a pretty dick move. But let me know what you think of the game. Let me know if you want to play it. Let me know if you'd rather not play it or have something different instead. I'm always interested to hear your thoughts. But yeah, until tomorrow, I'll see you all then. And hopefully this has been kind of helpful for people who don't really know what the game is yet. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.